Punchline Road to Lion Building 2023, and the gentleman I have seated in his office, so we're having this interview in his office, is not contesting for the position of governor, but there is actually an interesting constituency in which he has interest in vying for. And we are here with Nonso Nnamani. I'm not one of those guys that say honorable. I don't know whether you.
I actually feel more comfortable with Nonso Nnamani.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. So, 2023 House of Reps. Why 2023? You had done this in 2019, and you were going for the House of Assembly. What makes you think 2023 is your year?
That's a very big one. Well, since 2019 election, okay, I've always looked forward to 2023 election. Even though the decision about running, I almost felt like I wasn't going to run at the beginning of the year. And then dying minute, I changed my mind. But the truth is that I've always looked forward to 2023. Okay, I wasn't very sure that it was going to be House of Rep, but I knew I was preparing to run for election in 2023.
Okay, why not House of Assembly? You tried House of Assembly before, Enugu South. And Enugu South has urban and rural.
Okay.
So I'm guessing you tried for urban.
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you take a pass again at South? Maybe the acceptance would have been better.
Okay.
If you went for South. Why House of Rep?
Okay. The first reason for that is from 2019 till now, a lot has happened. I've grown in terms of my exposure. For instance, after 2019 election, I went back to school. I enrolled to do an MBA program. After that, I also went to the prestigious SPPG School of Politics, Policy and Governance. I graduated this year. Then I became more involved in the community. I launched a book last year, The Power Shift. Of course, I gave birth to the Power Shift movement. So a lot has happened. We had our Power Shift conference in Enugu and of course in Abuja. So that interaction in the north, all over Nigeria, made me more open to other issues, surrounding the Nigerian conversation. So the National Assembly became more strategic for me in the sense that it gives me an avenue to participate in local conversations about building up my state, building up my community. But at the same time, I also have an opportunity to participate in national conversations as regards Southeast, as regards Nigeria, as regards issues bothering us as Nigerians. So I just look at it like a double-edged sword.
Okay, 2019, you were on the platform of the All Nigeria Alliance for New Nigeria.
Alliance for New Nigeria, yes.
And then 2023, you're flying on ABGA.
Yes.
Why haven't we heard you flying PDP? Is the ruling party in the states. Why aren't we hearing you fly PDP?
The same reason I mentioned in 2019 when I joined ANN, lots of my friends are in PDP. I've had history with PDP, history in the sense that at some point in my life I had worked for PDP. But the PDP platform, like we've all known it to be, both locally and nationally, does not feel our best. Okay? I believe that a lot should have been changed in PDP, which is linked to the fact that a lot is happening in our nation. The Nigerians are not finding it good. Issues keep escalating. I'm thinking that 2023 election would have been more strategic to renew the political class. That was the conversation we had in my book. That's the conversation we kept having, through our conferences and different conversations. I even had an opportunity to, meet with the governor, where we shared this interest. He was recruiting young people into his government. He was giving opportunity for new players. And I also shared my concern that I believe that it is time to renew the political class. And looking at 2023 election, I don't see much renewal. I don't see much new faces. And I believe that the current political class have been so involved in the Nigerian mess that I don't believe they have what it takes to bring Nigeria out of the situation. So it is time to look for new leaders. It is time to look for new individuals with fresh ideas, to create more opportunity and to make the nation to work.
conversation around any political party, especially for young people, is Labour Party. Everybody knows that because of
Yes.
PDP.
Yes.
So why wasn't Labour the first? Was Labour the first choice, or it was a choice but you couldn't get it, and then you went to APGA?
Okay. When Peter Obi moved to Labour, I was not even considering to run. Okay. Because of how the momentum of Power Shift was growing, I felt I should not be partisan. Okay, so I even had a youth stakeholders meeting in Enugu where I threw up a challenge and I told everybody to, come out to run, let's support you. And to prove that I am committed to supporting you, I'm not going to run. So I felt that being partisan is going to, affect my ability to support different candidates on different platforms. So that was why I declined that I'm not going to run. But after the primaries, after, all the conversations, it was as if that young people were nowhere to be found. And then APGA, of course, has been reaching out to me long even before now.
But people consider APGA as used to consider, I use my words deliberately, used to consider APGA as an Igbo party.
Yes.
But what is obtainable now is that APGA looks more like an Anambra party, a party that has just won basically in Anambra State. So when that conversation comes in, we've not won any seat, APGA have not won any seat in Enugu, maybe a few other places within Anambra. What is going to be the difference with APGA? And the second child question to this is, are you carrying APGA or is APGA carrying you?
Okay, so let me start by throwing you more light on what you mentioned about APGA being an Anambra party. Okay, maybe because they have a stronghold in Anambra, it's okay to perceive it like that. But I also want you to remember that Governor Rochas Okorocha emerged from APGA party in Imo State and then finally switched to APC because he wanted national recognition. So anywhere you see the existing stronghold party, being taken over, it's always APGA. Okay, APGA has won election in Enugu State, but it was for councillorship position somewhere in Isuzo.
When the councillor probably becomes PDP.
Well, it's obvious why. Not everybody will have the guts to pull through.
If you win,
yes,
at some point in the future, become PDP.
Very interesting question.
Predominantly PDP, and you'll be the only APGA.
If you know me very well, I'm highly driven by conviction. Okay. Currently, I believe that there is need for us to think about regional alliance. Okay. This is what I mean by that. I'm saying this with a lot of caution. I don't believe we need an Igbo president. I don't believe we need a president from Southeast extraction. I don't believe that we need any president from anywhere, okay? If we have somebody competent anywhere from Nigeria, I will throw in my support. But for me, I am constantly puzzled on the conversations around the reason why Igbos or the reason why Southeast is not doing well is because of national politics. And you have a governor who is from the state, you have a local government chairman who is from your community, you have House of Rep members, you have senators who are making decisions about your state and about your region, and they have not been able over the years, to pull us out of whatever situation we are. I don't think having presidents is going to make any difference. So currently in my life, I am thinking about regional alliance. I'm thinking about how can we form, a regional alliance among the Southeast states. How can we look at, we have, shared, land topography. Can we look at economic, strategy, social strategy, things that can help us to evolve, even politically. That is where it starts from. If you look at Tinubu's emergence, Tinubu started first of all by building regional influence. Then from that, they negotiated with CPC and APC was formed. I think our region also needs to, form an alliance, politically first. Then it can now move into other aspects.
So the answer is you will not jump to.
I am most likely not going to jump into another party. Not going to jump into another party.
All right.
See, why I have to sound most likely is that I consider myself a progressive, okay, and I run a lot with my conviction. So I can't always predict what tomorrow looks like, but I can always tell you that I will stand on the side of the people, and I will also stand on the side of rightness, of whatever is good at that moment.
At that moment. So at this moment, let's take a break. We'll come back with still talk with Nonso Nnamani. He's aspiring for the Enugu North and South Federal Constituency on the platform of the All Progressive Grand Alliance. We'll be right back.
This is Niger Feedback.
Welcome back to Punchline Road to Land Building 2023. This special edition of Punchline is surveying the political processes, the campaigns, the players, the activities in the run-up to the governorship, House of Assembly, Senate, and House of Representatives election come 2023. I am still Sami Ajifo. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all our social media handles, and let's enable notifications to make sure you get updates on all our new shows. We're still here with Nonso Nnamani on the platform of ABGA. He's vying for House of Representatives, Enugu North and Enugu South Federal Constituency. This constituency is the most juicy constituency in terms of whether it's federal or whether it's Senate or House of Representatives. South and North has the most juicy positions. Let me drag you to the current occupier of that seat, who people can call a very experienced politician, one who has been there from 2007 to 2011, moved on even presently. So he's like a third time, and he won the seat again, the ticket on PDP. What gives you the confidence that you kick him out?
Well, when we talk about an experienced politician, what are we really referring to? Is
Someone
it
who has
experience
been
in?
there for a long time. That's in
Yeah,
Nigerian parlance.
yeah,
That's
but
experience.
we have to start with an assessment. How has that experience impacted the community? Okay. For me, for instance, let me just mention one of them. He has been there for almost 12 years, right? He has not pushed one single bill. There's a website bill tracker that will show you all the members, of the house, the bills they passed,
Not one
and
single bill in
not
all
one
12 years.
single, you won't find his name attached to a single bill. Okay. And for me, when you look at the community, what leadership is he providing? I've never been in a town hall meeting. There has never been any conversation about representation. Like you said, Enugu North is strategic in making sure that, we grow a strong economy here that will affect, other, not so urban areas. So leadership is important. We need quality representation.
But these people have put him there for 12 years. I mean, does that mean they don't have representation?
When you say people have put people in positions in Enugu, I always say that Enugu have not had any election since 1999. It's all about intimidation and money sharing. For me, 2023 is going to show a true test of whether PDP would say that they have a stronghold in Enugu, because we've not had any genuine election. Some of these elections have been in it, some of them have monitored, and you can't really say that PDP have come out to genuinely win an election. It's all about intimidation. We're already getting some of those information now as regards their plan for the 2023 election. But the point is that this nation is as a place where we are not going back about ensuring that we have to take our destiny by our hands.
If you look at the local politics on the ground, are both of you from the same area? People will say,
we are
okay,
from the same senatorial zone.
okay, but talk about maybe he's from this same village, or they will say, okay, it's your village's turn and his turn. Are you?
Over time, I don't know if you've checked some of my readings and some of my online articles. I don't believe in politics of entitlement. I don't believe in politics of region. I don't believe that it should be this person's turn. Okay, let me just mention something. When they were talking about uh, the turn of Enugu East for governorship, I said we should not be calling for turns. What we should be calling for is for assessment. Okay, it started with Enugu East, went to Enugu West, and then back to Enugu North. What we should be talking about is an assessment. What is the dividends of democracy after 24 years of PDP rule, uninterrupted rule? What are our gains? What are our losses? That is the conversation we should be having. I don't believe in any politics of entitlement. I believe that what should qualify anybody for any position should be the person's competence, the person's character, and the person's ability to move the community forward. Anything less is a distraction to democracy. Anything less will not give us the best in terms of democracy. So I am not part of a conversation that because you are from a region or because you have, then it gives you some sense of entitlement to govern those who work, pay tax, and all their lives are built in that community.
But
And
Enugu has, for the last 24 years, if PDP in Enugu has had this same narrative, it's the turn of this person moving to this, what is it 2023 that will break that jinx?
I think so. I think so. We are going to do that. Okay, we are going to start from 2023, then we move on. The point is that we are tired. Nigerians are tired. I know you are also tired. And we can't continue like this.
Let's talk about this term that has dropped into the political lexicon since these 2023 elections. Structure.
Okay.
People will ask, Abga, Nonso Nnamani, does he have structure? Do you have structure?
Of course. When I got the ticket, I took time to visit all the wards. I have 26 wards under my constituency. And in all those wards, we have structure. We have people who are working for the party.
People who will not, at the polling, the day of elections, swing to another time.
You see, we've learned over the years. We've been swinging since 1999. Where has it taken us to? Everybody is seeing that it's not working. You have done the swinging. Where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities? Where are the things that will make our communities to work? They are not available. So why do I keep doing something that is not working and expecting a different result? Okay, so what we are doing is that we are rethinking about our engagement. Okay, and there is a new structure forming. We've been talking about thought force, and the new thought force have emerged, and it's not a political party, it's the people, which is the idea I was pushing. The last topic in my book is called people power. And the reason for that is that I was trying to draw the attention of the people to the fact that, Nigeria is the way it is today. It's also because of our fault. We've not taken responsibility because both leadership and followership is a shared responsibility. So there is a role as a follower or as a citizen that you are supposed to provide to ensure that the right leadership emerge. We've not been doing that over the years.
Let me put this question to you. You're going to be facing some very strong contenders. I do know PDP is the number one contender. Will APGA be the ship that the wave that can rock the boat? Are you here to rock the boat? Are you here to cause a dent? Or are you here to contest to win?
We are going to win this election.
No, a lot of people have confidence.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt in my heart that we are going to win.
Why are you so confident?
Because we are tired. The people are tired. The system is tired. Isn't that obvious? Okay, let me give you a little statistics. The National Assembly receives 100 billion naira every year for constituency projects. Okay, so in the last 10 years, Nigeria has spent more than 1 trillion naira in constituency projects. So in my own constituency, Enugu North and South, I am sure that the current House of Representative member representing our community have assessed nothing less than 1.8 billion naira. Where is the outcome of that in our community? What has he done? So we can't continue doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We have to look at alternatives, okay? And not to talk about the lack of leadership. Most times we ignore the fact that having credible leaders can go a lot in shaping the economy. can go a lot in shaping the community. Just the fact that you have somebody who is interested in the community, he knows how to connect ideas, how to connect people, how to ensure that things are working properly in the community, can go a long way to turning things around. So beyond the constituency project, beyond the representation, the fact that there's leadership, that somebody is there to provide direction, somebody is there to ensure that businesses are going the way it should go, somebody is there to ensure that issues about security that we are talking about it, issues about the economy that we are looking into it, can do a lot to the economy.
Let's look at the money you'll be contesting against, because I know you're not really contesting much against the candidate. You're contesting against the war chest they have. Yes. So what's your war chest like? Are you confident? How are you going to get your funding for this? Is there a backer? I don't want to use the word who is bankrolling you, but is there a backer, or are you confident that, look, pound for pound, we can make something?
Okay, so in my book, I wrote My Vote Is Not for Sale. Is one of the chapters, I think the 6th chapter in my book, and I was sharing how I raised money in my last election. Okay, so when I came out in 2019 election, I had no money. Okay, but I decided to crowdfund. People were like, this is Nigeria, nobody is going to give you money to run for election. But more than 90% of the money I used in that election was crowdfunded. I had a Paystack account where you could go online. I had a flyer, donate as low as 100 naira. People were donating 1,000, some 10,000, some 20,000, some 250,000. Some were friends and associates. And we are also accountable about how we were using the money. So we are going to repeat just that. The point is that it is actually wrong for you to expect a politician to fund his election. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for them. But we have to redefine that. We have to explain to the people why it is wrong. Because recently we got an information that one of the contestants of the governorship election took a loan, to fund the election. So what happens when he wins the seat? He has to start paying back the loan. So if you increase the costs of the electioneering process, it also impacts on good governance. So the people need to understand that it's not just, the responsibility of the person who is running for election to fund the whole of the election. It doesn't mean my own money will not get in there, but the entire responsibility shouldn't be on me. It must be a shared responsibility. And that's one of the things that holds me accountable when I get into office.
Usually, we're wrapping up. Usually, if election happens, elections are about to happen, you have the primaries of different parties, and political watchers just sit down and say, let's see what happened with PDP primaries, let's see what happened with APC primaries. Then the fallout of people who couldn't make it or they are disgruntled, usually parties just mop them up. Is that going to be an advantage for you? Have you met with people who are kind of disgruntled and they're tired on both sides, APC and PDP, and they say, okay, we'll fund you, we'll go behind you? Have you had that conversation so far?
A lot of people are tired. A lot of people are behind, what we are doing. Some have commended the fact that, we are, going against the institution, to stand on what we believe. And the support has been tremendous.
Okay. You are a member of the Enugu state government.
Yes.
And the Enugu state government is a PDP government.
Yes.
And you're running under ABGA.
Yes.
Is there no conflict?
Well, I didn't get involved in Enugu state government because I was a member of PDP. I got involved because the governor felt I had the competence and the character to discharge the duties he was assigning me to.
Some people feel that I just got the appointment, told that I should resign. Honorable things.
My conversation had never changed ever since I started working for the PDP government. Because, like I said, I'm driven by convictions, not sentiments. Okay, so if you give me a job to do, I do it to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my strength. And if I find any reason to, use any other platform to also, discharge those duties, I think I'm not under any obligation or oath.
So you're not afraid that people will think, Nonso is actually a PDP guy in ABGA. Maybe he's placed in ABGA to block somebody else who has an ambition.
People will always, have different, perspective. Some of those things time will tell. And I think we also need to judge somebody based on their antecedents. When I ran under ANN, PDP was there. But why did I run under ANN? I chose a party that is in line with my ideas and my ideologies. I met individuals, technocrats, different from different walks of life. We are clamoring for a new Nigeria. I believed in that vision, and that was how I got involved. The same way I also believe in the Africa vision. Okay, I don't just do things because I just have to. I do things because I'm inspired, because it is my job as the leader to also inspire the community. So if I don't have, there's no inspiration in PDP. I don't think anybody should vote for PDP in the upcoming election. At all levels, from president down to any level.
Why?
Because they've not shown leadership.
APC, people argue to have probably not.
Do you know that APC have done more for us in the southeast than PDP in the last 8 years? Have you checked our roads? Have you seen the road from the 9 Mile Road? Are you seeing what is going on? What about the Niger Bridge? Have you seen the Enugu Port Harcourt Express Road?
So why didn't you run APC?
That was under
Why didn't you?
Well, I had a soft spot for APC, in the sense that, yes, they've not done very well in certain areas, okay, especially the area of security, okay. But there's some other areas they've done things that are commendable. We've had a PDP government for how many years? For 16 years. We've had PDP senators from the southeast. We've had, I think, about 5 Senate presidents. We've had a 2-time deputy Senate president. We've had ministers. What was their impact?
On the southeast.
Yes. Why were our roads not built? Why does it have to take almost 24 years to complete the Onitsha Bridge?
Back to you. Final thing. You created Power Shift, and the idea is to train emerging leaders for political positions, make them more qualified, make them ready. So is 2023 going to be the experiment, or 2023 is actually the push?
2023 is the push. I would say 2019 was the experiment.
Did you have any other person who came on that platform of Power Shift that succeeded in political office, and succeeded in winning an election?
Like the movement just started last year. Okay, so this is our first test.
And you're not the only person that's
I have
running.
a friend, John Paul, who is also connected to Power Shift. He's running on the Labour Party
Okay, so
for House of Assembly in
it's not
Kano
restricted
West.
to political parties.
No. When we started Power Shift, the goal was to support candidates and not party. And that was why Power Shift supported P2B at the national level. And then we finally supported Frank Nweke at the state level. Okay, because he was clearly the most competent person to run for governorship.
Will Power Shift support somebody in Ogu for PDP?
If we find the person competent, yes.
All right, we'll continue this conversation again. Very interesting, and we'll be following up Nonso Nnamani as he moves on during the campaign trail as we count down to the general elections in 2023. Your biggest challenge, what do you foresee as your biggest challenge? Final question. What is your biggest challenge you foresee going down the road campaign-wise?
Okay, inspiring the people. Okay, like you said, we are going against the institution, okay, and we are also going against an environment where government has virtually failed almost in everything. Okay, so people are not happy, people are discouraged. I remember talking to someone about my candidature, and the woman was like, "Go, leave all these politicians. They just keep saying the same thing." So people don't even believe in politicians anymore.
So don't you think that is going to count against people just going to say, no, but just vote PDP?
That's why I consider that a hard task, because it's going to take me extra mile to inspire them, to show them why I'm different, to tell them what I'm going to do differently. And for me, that's the hardest part of this job.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be interviewing other candidates. We'll still be following up to see how things pan out. First person we are speaking with is Nonso Nnamani, and let's hope that our the aura of our wonderfulness will just, stick to him as he moves into the campaign trail as we head towards the 2023 general election. So thank you, Nonso, for giving us time.